Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier In The Air. Just checking something real quick. So I hope everybody had a good week. Rain, rain, rain. Fantastic amount of rain that we got this week. However, they did make it harder for me to get out during the times that I could get out to walk the hood. So I do have some of it, but not as long as I normally do, which is between 5 and 6 days. Um, and so, but I have a exciting episode for everyone today. If by the way, if this is your first time watching the show, welcome to Javier in the Air, where we do just about everything outside of religion and politics. I know I keep saying that, and people are like, "You need to stop saying that," but I have had some people wanting to come on the show and talk about religion and talk about politics, and I'm like, this is not the show for that. So I will have to continue to just raise it up. Obviously, they haven't been watching the show. Or they at least watch only the first part of it. So I'm mentioning it on the first part now. Okay, so I have some really interesting things to talk about this week, specifically for the bottom line. I got some feedback and talked to quite a few people. The age ranges weren't where I wanted to be because I couldn't get some of the age groups, but we'll talk about that then. We have some projects that I want to update everybody on. But let's go ahead and just start with trash in the hood. Okay, so here we have day two because day one was I think a little bit of rain and plus I wasn't feeling that well. So we have the usual cigarette butts over there on the far right, strips of paper, cardboard paper or something like that. It was very weird. Drink, which I find it a lot. Drinking containers, some beverage cans that were squashed flat, chunks of glass, some strips of pieces of metal and plastic and all that. A Boston baked bean candy thing. I haven't seen Boston baked beans in a long time. So that was day two. Now day three, a little bit different loop. You see a pacifier in the top right, beverage cans, of course, straws, water bottles, a lighter. There's a vape box in there, and then a large number of cigarette butts. I don't know what this person or persons were doing, but they were smoking a lot. I actually found some more underneath the other stuff while I was putting it all together to throw in the trash. Looks like bits of an envelope, beverage can top. It's just some weird items in there. So day six was the usual Java walk to the coffee place. You see some beverage containers there, a vape cartridge, actually a vape device itself, cigarette butts and strips of paper and to-go containers and some ketchup and stuff like that. This is a little bit more well used or well run road. That's hard to say. And so there was a little bit more of like food containers and stuff like that. So this was day six. Okay, so there you have it. 3 days only. I did walk this morning, but was weird. But I forgot to take the trash thing with me, and I was listening to some good music, the '80s, and so I wasn't really watching the road as much as I usually do. So I apologize for that. I didn't really pick up anything of note. So. I will be back on it next week. I work from home next week, so I will be able to go out at different times. Maybe I'll do a lunchtime walk or something, depending on the temperature. There was a lot of rain, so there was a couple of times that I was not able to get out due to it. It got too late, and then I didn't want to walk out there in the rain. There was one day that I did walk out there, and it was raining. And so, if I'm out and it's raining, then I'll take it. Otherwise, I try to avoid it. So I wanted to give an update. Some people have shot me some messages about the projects that I have going and if I'm ever going to finish them. And I finished a lot of them, so I want to be fair. I do know some people who don't seem to finish anything or start 9 projects and then finish them over the next 9 years. So let me give quick little update on on the backyard stepping stone project. Okay, so this was before I actually, or it might have been after I mowed. I think it was when I mowed. So I mowed, funny enough, I mowed just a couple hours before it started the torrential downpour rain that we got last night. Last night being 8/27. So this is it freshly mowed, and you see the garden project going on in the background of this, which I'm getting the loofah going, so that's good. And then on this is the other side of the yard where you can see part of the stepping stone project, which I've gotten a lot more in, and then just some of the tools that I use for doing the stepping stones. I think I have one better than that. So you can also see that this was kind of grass and kind of not grass, and I've been struggling to do that in my backyard. If you have ways of knowing what to do with the backyard to get rid of this and get more grass, let me know. And then here's a shot from more in the yard. You see I got lights going on here. I got a lot of things going on here. It's a very busy backyard for not being used so much lately. But you see the projects that I've gotten done and some of the new furniture I got in there, and you see that grass growing very well. And the rain certainly helped out. I know it helped everybody else out, and it certainly helped me out to get what little grass I have in the backyard actually growing. Okay, so there you saw the backyard. I looked through and I thought I had more shots of the stepping stones that I did this morning. So, for those of you who may not know, and you can always go back to the archives on YouTube, Javier In The Air, of course. I am doing something that I saw on Pinterest, which was using concrete and baggies, like eco-friendly, that break down easily, baggies that I fill with concrete, and then I twist them around, upend them, and I put them out on this diameter that I have around the trunk project that you've seen. If you haven't seen it, check the archives as well. And I make stepping stones out of it. So right now it's a slow going. It's brutal for me. It is some back breaking work. If I had another pair of hands, I bet you I could probably complete it in one day, but it's just not happening right now. So I had three colors. I used black, red, and terracotta. And so I have randomly, well, not randomly, there's a method to my madness, but I won't tell you. If you ever come and visit, you'll have to try to figure out what my method was to put the colored ones out there. And now I'm backfilling with just regular colored concrete. So my plan is to get it all done, and hopefully I can get most of it done this week, if not completed. I'm about maybe 10 bags of concrete in. I'll probably need at least another 10. So they're 80 pounds a piece, so there's some work getting them into the truck, getting them out of the truck, getting them into the backyard, and then using a hoe to mix it up when I add water to it. So as I explained weeks ago, the first two bags I used were the very quick setting concrete that you use for setting posts for like fences and decks and stuff like that, and it was just too quick for my old body to handle, and I couldn't I was barely able to get them done before they were already solidifying in the mixing bucket. So I had to go to the next one up, which is the yellow bag for Quickcrete users, and that is perfect. It stays liquid, not liquid, it stays unset long enough for me to be able to fill the bags, figure out where I want to put the stepping stones, and put the stepping stones. Now today, because I'm not using any color, I am able to just get through two bags relatively quickly because I don't have to mix the color, I don't have to do any of that. Plus, I'm not trying to figure out where I need to put them. I'm just putting them. So today I managed to get finish the ring around the trunk, the inner ring, the very first ring around the trunk, and then most of the outer ring. So the next week, hopefully week and maybe 2 weeks, okay, that's my goal to finish within the next 2 weeks, is to fill in the rest. Now what I was doing this morning too is that I was noticing that there were gaps. So what I was doing, rather than putting in the same amount for each baggie, I was also putting in smaller amounts so that I could fill the gaps in between. So like sometimes there'd be a gap like this big between two of the colored stepping stones that I already previously did, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to fill it. I can't put a full one in, so I put that in instead. So that was nice. Quick thinking on my part that I was able to do that so that I didn't have these huge gaps when I start getting more and more in there. So what I'm gonna have to do, there's gonna be some work after I get them done, obviously. But once I get it all done, I'm gonna then go back, step back, take a look, and see what else I need to do. I think I'm doing well. Plus, I have an extra surprise for it, which if it works out, would be really great. Excuse me. And if it doesn't work out, it's gonna totally suck. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So I think what I want to do is I want to do more about. I want to do the bottom line, but I'd rather do some Zen first and get us in the right frame of mode, because the bottom line, the subject that we're talking about today, really angers up the blood for me and for a lot of other people that I talk to. So let's go to our Zen moment. Okay, so there you have In My Garden. So I captured this moment early this morning, probably about, oh, I don't know, 8:15 this morning, and the loofah blooms were out heavily soaking up the sun's rays. So I noticed this the first time quite a while back. I've already harvested quite a few loofah, but I noticed that the blooms, and rightfully so, by the way, so this shouldn't be a surprise to people that grow things. The blooms are open and stretching out to the sun, and as I'm looking out to my backyard, well, I can't see it from here, but the sun is right over in that direction. That's east. So it comes over my house, kind of like diagonally over the house. So I have quite a bit of sun. Actually, a lot more now because the tree's not there. But I have a lot of morning sun. And so then late afternoon, I have some afternoon sun, which helps out so that the flowers and the plants and everything get as much sun as possible without total burnout. Even during the horrible heat waves that we've been having. And the blooms are really stretched out big. You saw them there, nice and bright and yellow, and they look really cool. And so I thought that would be a nice Zen for this morning. So hopefully they will turn into loofahs, and that is what I really would like to see. As I have
is an autoimmune disease. Lupus.
What is going on here? So it turns out you got to be careful what you say, because your phone will pick up something. And so there's an example. My phone picked up lupus. So you figure it out. I said loofah, and I didn't say anything about rhymes with, oogle. So I don't know why I picked it up. Anyway, So those are loofah, and I'm actually have some available that I'm gonna post here in a minute on Facebook for the ladies in the Be the Craft Fair to see if they're interested in using it for their soaps. So now I wanted to get the calm before the storm because I have a new bottom line, a new topic I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, and they're going to have a lot of opinions, and I'm looking for opinions. So I got some feedback from some individuals, and I'll talk more about it during that section. So let's go to the bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents Javier in the Air's The Bottom Line. Okay, so thank you to a relatively new section of Javier in the Air. This is the bottom line. For those of you who have not seen it, the bottom line refers to me summing up my thoughts and additional thoughts from other people, like you'll see today's episode, and talking about particular topics. So today's topic has been in the news a lot, has been quite prevalent in articles and stories and everything across the internet and across news media and across everything. So that has to do with the term quiet quitting. Now, I came across this saying about 2 weeks ago. So, for those of you who may not know, quiet quitting is, I don't know who coined the term, but it refers to more and more people are saying that they are only going to do their job. They're only going to put in 40 hours. They're not going to try to go above and beyond. They're not going to try to put forth that extra effort that their bosses may expect from them, and go home and have some me time, some family time, some alone time. But in other words, check out or clock out from their work. Now, this is being brought to the foreground now because people are saying that due to the way that we are currently in the hybrid working, that there's a lot more people working from home, and there's a lot, and so people are feeling like they're getting burned out because they're working more than their 40 hours, and for some, they're beginning to complain about how it's not getting them anything extra. They're not getting extra money for it. They're not getting paid extra for it. They're not, and they're just burning out. So now they're simply going to put in their 40 hours, and then they're going to go home, whether it actually be going home or just logging out from their computers. This also means not answering emails over the weekend or after hours, not answering phone calls from their bosses and or managers and such. So this is where the problem starts coming in. So I thought I'd ask a lot of, not a lot, I thought I'd ask some people who are currently working and who are currently not retired. And so my age range is from about 30 to about 65. And the group consensus was this. This is not a new This is not something new. They're calling it something new, but it's not something new. This is called doing your job and going home. So, some of the jobs I've had over my career, I knew people that would clock in, put in their 8 hours, and they would clock out for the day, and they never talked. They never talked outside of work about work, and they never did extra hours, and they never did anything extra above and beyond their 40 hours a week, and they went home. This is not new. This has been around for a while. This is called doing your job. Now, there's a lot of different variables that you can add in. What was brought up during some of the discussions I had, is this salary or is this hourly? Now, the articles I read didn't say, but my assumption, which I know I shouldn't and I hate making them, but the assumption from the articles, the inferences I gleaned from the articles, talk more about this being salary individuals. Because one of my friends' feedback was, well, if they're hourly, they may want to work those extra hours because those extra hours mean usually time and a half or PTO time. And if you're on very truncated or very short amount of PTO, then it's going to help you out to do that. You have extra days off. You have extra time that you could be with your family. Now, if we only go for this discussion, let's just continue with salaried individual. Now, the problem with salaried individuals is that your salary. So there's a certain expectation, not a direct discussion or you have to do this by your bosses, but there's a direct level of expectation that your bosses will expect you to work when they need you. Yeah, you need to work on the weekend because we're trying to finish something, then you're going to work on the weekend because you're a salary individual, a salary employee. And you need to stay late to finish a project that you're on. The deadline's tomorrow, then you stay late and finish the project. That's the level of expectation, because you are a salary employee, and the expectation is that we got you whether because you're salary. So when we need you, you work. And sometimes some employee contracts are really close to saying it, but they can't, because that would be a whole different ball of wax and that would be illegal. But they come close to saying that when they need you, they kind of expect you to be there for them. It's not something that you have to do. Let me say that again. It's not something you have to do. And I know plenty of people that don't. Plenty of people that are salaried individuals. They put in their 40 hours a week and they go home. Now, that's great. If your mindset is like that and you don't have any issues with your management or higher ups, you do it, put it in your 40, which technically they can't get you for. More power to you. That's great that you can do it. Spend time with your family, your friends, doing what you want to do. Maybe starting up a business, doing something like that. But you want your time to be yours. By all means, I am not going to fault you for that at all. There are some people, myself included, who have a different mindset or a different work ethic, or however you want to call it, that I'm not insulting too many people. I'm sure I'll hear about it. But I will put in that extra hour, and my friends that I know will put in those extra hours, without a thought. Oh, well, I was going to go home and hang out or watch the game or do something, but my boss asked me if I can stay late and work on this project. I'm going to stay late and work on this project. I know I'm salary. I'm not getting anything extra for it, but I will do it. Now, when the time comes, and this was brought up by another friend of mine, if you're doing that all the time, then you might need to have a discussion with management about how you may need to maybe get more compensation for it, more money for it. Hey, look, if I'm consistently working 55 hours a week, then I think I should maybe perhaps get a bit more compensation, maybe a little bit more PTO, maybe a little bit, pay for this or pay for that. Something that you may be able to negotiate. You may not get it, but at least you start that thinking of theirs in the back of their mind, telling them, kind of without telling them, hey, I'm watching that I'm working more than 40 hours a week consistently, and I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe we can do something about it. So, another thing that was brought up was when people say they're going to put in their only put in their 40 hours a week and then go home. So let me say that again. They are going to only put in their 40 hours a week and then they're going to go home, or they're going to clock out, and they're not going to answer any work-related business. Again, up to you, but there's two problems with that. Not problems. There are two things that you have to consider. Let's put it that way. I don't want it to be a problem, because then a lot of people are going to say, well, that's your thinking of it. There's two things you have to consider. One, you may not get that particular move up in the company. You may not get a raise. You may not get a promotion. You may not get in charge of people. And the problem is, and it's a worldwide problem, but I can only speak to the United States, is that if you don't put in that extra effort, then why should management put forth the extra effort of having you do something like management or move up in the company or pay you more? You don't have to work more than 40. They don't have to promote you. Life ain't fair, ain't it? Welcome to the real world. So if you want to put in your 40 and you're happy where you are, by all means do it. And do what you need to do for your happiness in life, and more power to you. But don't ever expect them to promote you. Don't ever expect to get a raise. Maybe cost of living, and they don't even have to give you cost of living, by the way. But it's become kind of a thing where people expect it. Just like some people expect bonuses. Bonuses are not something that is mandatory from the company. So you shouldn't expect a bonus. You should be happy that you got it. But that's a whole separate conversation. So, if you're happy where you are, happy as a clam, do it. And then don't bring up that you're not happy that you see Joe, who's only been here 4 months, move up in the ranks, and now he's in charge of you. Well, because Joe also puts in 50 hours a week and does this and that. Now, some people may call that butt kissing or schmoozing or whatever, but hey, Joe moved up. If you want to move up, you may have to change your mindset on how you feel about hours. Number 2, and this is a big one, and this is the one that gets in my craw. If you say that you are only going to work your 40 hours, you are quiet quitting, which, by the way, is a bullshit term. Sorry, it's a bullshit term. It just means doing your job. I'm going to do my job. I am getting paid for 40 hours. I am going to work 40 hours. That is my job. If you're just doing your job, that's not quiet quitting. That's called doing your job. So, for everybody who likes to come up with new terms, bullshit. However, if you're only going to work 40 hours, let me get in closer. If you're only going to work 40 hours, then you better damn well work your 40 hours. Don't take an hour and a half lunch because the boss is out of town. Don't leave early on Friday because everybody in the office is gone. Don't work on your taxes during the day. If you log in 8 o'clock and you're supposed to clock out at 5 o'clock, do your job for 8 hours. Work it. If you run out of something, find something to do. Otherwise, you're stealing from the company, and we can call that quiet stealing. You heard it here first. If you hear quiet stealing on the internet, right here, Javier In The Air said it first. If you're quiet quitting, but you're not doing your 40 hours, then you're quiet stealing. Put in your 40 hours. If you whine about how you only want to do your 40 hours, then you better damn well do your 40 hours. But you better be working on the job, doing something, helping out a customer, writing up a document, working on some code, cleaning the damn office, because you are putting in only your 40 and anything else is stealing. So if you do anything outside of that 40 hours that's not work related, then you're stealing from the company, and you're not quiet quitting, you're quiet stealing. And that's the bottom line. I know, right? Yeah. Wow. I was just remarking on how someone got a little hard at the end there. Sorry, Ma. But there you were. Bottom line, quiet quitting, or quiet stealing, depending on how you want to look at it. So if you have comments or concerns or feedback, or you hate me or you love me, or you love to hate me or you hate to love me, and you want to leave some comments, by all means, certainly do. If you have me on Facebook, send me a note. If you are following me on Javier In The Air on YouTube, then certainly leave a comment. I'd love to get feedback. Specifically, love to get feedback from anybody who may be under the age of 35 and what their thoughts are on it. I'm certainly very willing to have someone come on and talk about it. Have a part 2. See what we get from there. So, but let's go and let's have a discussion. Okay, so now I have a spirit time from some beer that my brother brought to me, I should say. And so let's take a look at that, and then we'll wrap up for the week. Here we go. Hey everybody, special edition of our Spirit Times. This is Taxman Brewing Company, which is out of Bargersville, Indiana. This is a triple. See if I can. This is also Taxman, but it says Big Red Liquors presents. It's a 50th anniversary triple, and it's Fippel the Tripel, as I like to call it. So, very cool thing, as you see here, Bargersville, Indiana, and then Big Red Liquors, which I'm like, if I can't have Big Red, at least I can have some Big Red Liquors. Really cool top hat. This is Indiana Belgian. Nice. I don't see a percentage of alcohol. I'll see if I can find out by the time we post. No, that's just a government warning. We don't want to need to worry about that. So yeah, there we go. Excellent. Let's take a look. Sorry, it took me a moment there. I've already been having some of the triple. So, yeah, I'll see if I can find out. But anyway, really good. Has the classic taste and sense of a triple, kind of like you would for some of the other triples that I've had. Really good, and goes well. I think it'd go well with like heavy red meat type of thing, a burger, or maybe a tomahawk ribeye, things like that. I think it'd go well with. Definitely not a starter beer. You wanna get into it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it 8.5 thumbs up. It's 8.5 thumbs up. It's Taxman Brewing Company. This is their Big Red Liquors presents the Fippel the Tripel, not Fippel. No, Fippel would be better, but Fippel the Tripel. Okay, so there you have it, Fippel the Tripel. Really good, by the way. I had it yesterday, so it was previously recorded, but it was really good. So that's it for this week's episode. Oh, by the way, thank you for some of those who have noticed. I have been growing it out. I think I remarked on it about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I've been growing out the beard just to see what I get from it. So I normally have it really short, and I've gone really long with it, and I'm beginning to look like Pancho Claus, for those of you who know. Of course, the white still, I'm still keeping it short up top. I haven't decided to go all full long-haired hippie white hair looking thing, even though I look like a skunk with the various bits of white everywhere. So if give me your thoughts, see what you think. I can certainly go back at any moment, go back to the really tight beard that I had, and I'm just letting it grow out, trying to trim it when I can. I trimmed it last night before I went to bed. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about the Fippel, if you ever had it, if you're in that area. If I'd love to hear from the brewers on their thoughts on my thoughts on Fippel. And if they think it should be a higher rank, then they're certainly welcome to come visit or Zoom meeting with me, and I'll get them on the show and we can talk about their beer. Also, like I said previously, for the bottom line, if you have some feedback, positive or negative, I will take both. I am not opposed to hearing how I may be full of it. I hear that a lot. So, but I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think about that. And so anything else, if you have a mom and pop business and you'd like to get more promotion about your company, by all means, I'd love to talk to you and interview you. You don't have to be local to the Cedar Park, Austin area. I can certainly interview you from anywhere via Zoom. And if you are local, I'd love to go out to your establishment and see it and talk about it, or we can certainly go out on the patio and talk about it there. The next couple of weeks are going to be interesting. We are already in August, so let's hope that we start seeing some more consistently cooler weather. I may have to switch up some of the things that I'm growing in my garden. And loofah, I think, are going to stay. They're pretty hardy, and I'm liking the results I'm getting from them. So they'll probably stay, but I'll look into getting some other things. I'm going to finish up the stepping stone project in the next couple of weeks. And then from there, maybe get some feedback from you all out there and see what may be the next project that I need to do. So I hope you have a good week. I will be trying to get back onto the hood to pick up more trash to keep my neighborhood clean. I like doing it, so I'm sure you'll see more of that. And we'll have a new bottom line. I'm not sure what I should do or could do. If you have a topic that you'd like to hear discussed, or you'd like to come on and talk about it, by all means let me know. So have a good week, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks a lot.